I don't know where he went.
Oh, yeah.
Ready? I could get Heather now.
You don't?
It's the girls that do, and they want different, so. I saw your lovely wife at Swamp Fest. I saw your lovely wife at Swamp Fest, but I didn't see you. Yeah. I was looking for Tom, but they said that he had gone because he wasn't feeling well.
So cheap, I didn't even flip it.
I got some of the pork rinds, the pork skins. Oh, they were so good.
Y'all ready?
Did you get some of those, Jason? What's that?
Let's call the Satsuma City Council to order. We're going to start tonight as we do all of our council meetings. We asked if you got a cell phone that you please mute it or turn it down so it won't interrupt anybody or any of the business here before us. We start tonight as we do every night. We will open with prayer, and then we'll remain standing after prayer and go into the Pledge of Allegiance, and then roll call. So if everyone will stand, I will lead us in a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us tonight as we address the issues facing our city and our community. Please help us to provide answers, provide guidance, and help the city move forward. We also ask that you be with so many of the families that have sickness, have had death in their families, and be with them during this time. It's in your precious name we pray and thank you. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call.
Councilman Little,
Present.
Councilmember Butler, Councilmember Skelton,
Here.
Councilmember Reese,
Present.
Councilmember Phillips,
Here.
Mayor Barlow.
Here. Please let the record reflect that all are here with the exception of Councilman Butler, who I think had knee surgery, and he was just unable to make it tonight. So, with that being said, we generally go and open our council meeting up for those that's coming or that may have questions that they would like to come before the council with. Sometimes we can't give an answer when we haven't had a time to address whatever the concerns may be. But if anyone would like to approach tonight, please come forward and we'll see if we can answer your questions and address any of the concerns that you may have.
You got to arm wrestle.
I'm Sheila Walters, and I live at 5669 Laurel Drive. I'm here to represent the Women's Club of Satsuma. Each year, we do a dinner for the senior boys at the high school. The library does the girls' dinner, and we have chosen to do the boys' dinner. And we have a hamburger dinner at Still Creek, and we have a speaker. But what I'm here to ask is if you would waive the fee for Still Creek for that day. I know we pay the $100 cleanup fee, but if you would please waive the rental fee for that day. Thank you.
Okay, in pre-council tonight, Ms. Walters came up and we discussed that, and we checked and made sure that the lodge is not rented for that night. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And there was
Available. It's
Nope.
during the day, so it's available.
there was no opposition for that.
We just have a wedding the next day, and they agreed to make sure it's all back in order.
Okay. Well, I know I got a little bit out of order tonight, and I'm going to have to go back to the minutes, but
We have one more visitor. We have another visitor.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to have to go back, so I'd gotten myself out of order on that, and I apologize to y'all for that. But But we had already discussed that, Ms. Walters, in pre-council, and I think this, we'll make that in form of a motion.
Yeah, we got it down there.
So we'll take care of that later, and that will be handled. Thank you. Okay, please, come on up, sir.
I'm John Davis with the Satsuma Youth Association Baseball, president at the moment. We're having some issues with bathrooms being locked up every night or every day by the city. We're asking that during season, if we can leave them unlocked. I know there's been talk about vandalizing and stuff like that. If they're going to vandalize, it's going to be when the kids are there during the season. Nobody's up there during the daytime. I go by there several times. Just ask if we can have some help on that, because not everybody can get there to unlock these bathrooms. So,
You missed our conversation. We're going to leave them open.
Yeah, we-
30 minutes, 30 minutes late.
Yeah, we had a lengthy discussion in pre-council regarding that tonight, Mr. Davis, and we've all agreed that they will be opened. And
good deal. We'll appreciate
So,
that.
just for the record, all that, we've about got everything completed on the restroom renovations, and hopefully, we will have them unlocked and they'll be in order, so.
You'll have one outlet I need to fix, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for coming up. Yes, sir. Mr. Jack, you sure you don't want to come back and discuss just a little bit? Okay.
Gosh, sorry.
Okay, well, for the record tonight, we will know that you did approach the council and pre-council, and we discussed the upcoming Memorial Day plans for the city, and so we kind of okayed to start our plans and preparations for that, which is always a big event, so thanks for your help, as always. Is there anyone else to come before the council tonight? Well, we appreciate all of you coming tonight anyway. All right, I got ahead of myself tonight, so going back to item number 4, we went over the minutes from the March 2nd, 2021 meeting. Pre-council, I think, Mr. Little had said he was going to make a motion.
Yeah, make a motion, we approve the minutes from the March 2nd meeting.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Skelton, approve the minutes from the March the 2nd meeting. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, well, I will go into the report that we had and some of the discussion that we had in pre-council tonight, just so some of those who are following us on our live stream, which I've gotten a lot of good publicity from, so thank all of you that's been help in getting that going. I told the council tonight that we have been approached by some realtors and people interested in if the city would entertain the thought of selling some of the property we have. Some of the property we have is kind of near what we call the end of Gilbert Drive. There's been some interest there. There's been some interest in some development along the backside of, or near the Steel Creek Lodge on Laurel Drive. And I have said that I would bring that to the councils for us to look at. And in pre-council, we all agreed that we would entertain the sale of the property. So, Jay, I hope to get with you in the not-too-distant future, and perhaps we can discuss with the planning board to make sure that if we did sell it, I would like to make sure that it stays consistent with the properties that it adjoins. We certainly don't want to sell it unless it's going to in some way benefit the adjoining property owners, and I feel like some of that development could be beneficial. So they're not going to take any action on it. We're not moving forward tonight on that other than just exploring what may be available. So I appreciate all of your comments and all on that earlier tonight. Last week, we did get awarded the 5310 grant again. I think it was for a little over $33,000. So I was proud to see that, so we can continue to work on our senior services or senior transportation. We're still trying to work on obtaining those signs that we have been discussing for the last couple of meetings regarding the radar-type signs that show the speed limit and the speed of the approaching vehicles. I'm hoping that we can put some of those in some of the areas that we continually having the complaints of speeders. So it's impossible to keep police officers on every street, but hopefully we can take some measures that will let the citizens see that we are hearing what they're saying. At the next council meeting, I was going to ask some of the gentlemen that's been working for years cleaning the cemetery. They've done a real good job, if they would mind coming forward so we could recognize them as a group and thank them for the efforts that they have put together for quite some time. Also, I did tonight, as I said in our prayer tonight, we continually seem like every council meeting lose some of the citizens that's been here a long time, like Mr. Will Singleton and his family who passed away over the weekend. Dr. Rubenstein from our sister city here, Saraland, lost his mother last week. Former Sheriff Tom Purvis has passed away. I'm not sure if there is arrangements yet. So if you see any of their families or we see any of those people at the municipal dinner Thursday night, hopefully you can pass those condolences along. Again, some of the legislative bills that appear to be moving forward, I hadn't seen anything that's really that big with us. The jurisdiction bills or the planning board, some of the cities it has a big effect on, but with us being surrounded, some of those things are just really not, I don't think will be a big impact on us. We discussed the sheetrock and other repair that we've got to do at Steel Creek. If it's okay tonight, I would like, and everybody agreed, for us to work on getting a scope of work, because we got some bids on fixing or making the repairs that are needed, but we had some of the repairs that were very detailed and looked like they were much more detailed than a couple of the others. So I think in order to move forward with that, we need to kind of have a scope of work and identify exactly what we're going to do, and then perhaps award the bid. We had in your packet of information tonight the boards, and I asked Heather to show when the appointments are due so that these don't slip up on us. We do have a school board appointment that's got to be made next month. After talking with the council, I think we will open this up for anyone that's interested, who might be interested in serving on the school board, because that is certainly a very big appointment. Our schools are something we're really proud of, and we want to make sure that we're putting the right people there. So if anyone that is interested in serving on the school board, if they could come by City Hall and pick up an application or get with the school board and turn one in with some information so that we can all review and look over who's interested, perhaps we can make the appropriate appointment and keep a good board that will ensure our school will stay on the track that we think they're on now. Between pre-council meeting and the council meeting tonight, I think I've covered all of the major things that we have working. We have a bunch of small projects that we're continually working on. I mentioned some small paving projects that we are still waiting on the bids to come back in on. Is that my understanding, Crystal? I would hoped that we had those back tonight. I had mentioned to you some of the spots that we have just got pothole after pothole after pothole, and I feel like we need to mill them out and go ahead and fix them. And since all of you agreed, I hope by the next council meeting we have that, and perhaps even underway. Mr. Butler's not here tonight, so I'm going to mention that the fire chief has got an inspection coming up, and we may have some expenses to make sure that we're getting ready for the ISO. If you would like to briefly tell everybody tonight some of what you have planned for the next week or two, so they'll know in case we do incur any expenses?
ISO, we were hoping was not gonna come in till the latter part of the year. I was hoping maybe around September. I received the email, I believe it was Thursday afternoon, and then we did April 12th, do our ISO inspection for the year. Being that we put a new truck in service last year, we had to take things off the old truck to put on the new truck. So we're lacking some things that I was hoping to be able to maybe purchase through grants through the summer. But we are probably going to need to probably purchase around $3,800 worth of equipment to try and put back on that truck for our inspections.
Well, let's purchase what we need, because it's very important that we keep the rating where we're at. So, I mean, if,
I'm asking, you know, if the city can help. You know, I didn't budget for that for this year. If we can maybe split it between general and my budget, or how we can do that, I'm not sure. Plus, the email about them, Ranger Environmental, about the stuff too, where we need to go with that. I don't know how you want
okay, well, first on the equipment that's needed in the ISO, that's, those are things we need, and we can work out how we handle it in the budget. We can discuss that later, but we certainly need that, those things taken care of. As far as,
It kind of slipped up on me. I had no idea, or I would not, this would not, I'm not springing something at all like that. But it is what it is.
okay,
Okay?
Oh.
If it comes down to it, when you're looking at a point or half a point, because you didn't have this piece of equipment or something, and you don't get this half a point, that could keep you from going to a 3, which would drop us, or going to a 5, which would raise us. So I don't think we should take that chance when I know I can stay where I'm at, and hope to be able to maybe possibly drop to a 3.
good. Well, certainly dropping would be our ultimate goal, but we, by all means, want to stay where we're at.
Personnel is probably what's gonna hurt us there from dropping. But not having 3 men on the truck 24/7, but we're sure gonna give it a shot. My guys are working pretty hard and diligent right now, getting everything lined up.
Okay, thank you. And regarding the disposal of what we talked about, that is pretty well in line. I feel like we can discuss that with Mr. Butler and Mr. Phillips. He probably has some background in that, and we can see if that price looks good to them. If it does, we'll move forward. If not, we'll get one other price and check it. And but we are definitely going to move forward in disposing of that.
I've done a little research on that, and I haven't gotten another quote. I will if you'd like. They were, Mobile Fire and another neighboring department had the same issue, and that was the lowest bidder, and that's who they're using. So that's why I called them first.
Okay. Okay, well, we do have a couple other companies up there that can do it, so I think we can get that taken care of. In pre-council tonight, we discussed, and I will let Jay complete this, but there was an issue in our audit that we felt like we needed to address or explore a little more, an accounting error pertaining to the way the insurance, I guess, had been taken, or we had paid it. So since we really couldn't explain it, and I didn't know how to answer the questions after speaking with Jay and the Corey, he has agreed to come back next Wednesday night, that's the 24th, at 5:30 for us to have a council workshop to review the budget and the findings. I discussed this with all the council, and that seemed to fit everybody's schedule the best. So we're going to have a workshop meeting at next Wednesday, which will be the 24th at 5:30 p.m., and it will be to address the audit and discuss with the auditor exactly what the issue was, so it can be discussed. Any further we need to?
No, I think that's fine, Mayor.
Okay. Well, there are a few other things, but I believe the council members are going to take it under their departments as it comes forward tonight. So those are the main issues that I have. If we don't pick them up as we go down the list, I'll come back to them. With that being said, we're going to move into public services with Mr. Little.
Thanks, Mayor. One of them being our building inspector. We do not have one yet. I know it's on items of consideration. We'll be taking that up a little later, but we're going to try to open that up under Building Inspector 2 and see, how that might work from there. So we'll handle that a little later. And we need to order some garbage cans. I know we do that from time to time, and we normally order around 50 of them. We just have about 17 left at this time, so I think the cost is going to be right at 5,000. Right at 5,000. So that's just something we need to do. We've got also an estimate on repairing our knuckle boom truck. That's truck number 1. It's got some AC problems. The estimate is right around $1,000. So hopefully we can take care of that.
Okay.
I believe that's it.
Okay, and we did discuss at length in our pre-council meeting tonight, the building inspector 2 actually covers a few more duties, and it will allow us to increase the pay and hopefully get some more applicants. Although we had some really good applicants, we didn't have any building experience, and I think that's an excellent move on our part to do that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Little. And as I said earlier, Mr. Butler is out tonight, so hopefully he'll be feeling better and can return with us in the not-too-distant future. Chief Waite from the fire department's already got with me, and then, of course, he had the floor a few minutes ago. Chief Harold, do you have anything from the police department that, in Mr. Butler's absence, we hadn't discussed that you need to? No. Okay. Okay, we thank both of you for attending and also your assistance in the making sure this live streaming is going. Okay, we're moving on down the list pretty quick. Mr. Skelton.
Mayor, the only thing I have is I'd like to extend condolences to the family of Officer Robert Moore and the passing of his niece this past weekend.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. That was a tragic accident, I understand, at University in 45, so very sad 2 young ladies lost their life there. Thank you. Ms. Allison on Parks?
Yes, sir. Wanted to give you some library news. Tiffany Clearman, she's the director, and she just let me know that they finished up their 2-day field trip with the Satsuma High School students, 7th and 8th graders. She said it was wonderful. Also coming in July, the Satsuma Library will host a 2-week Rosa Parks exhibit. This exhibit from the Rosa Parks Museum at Troy University is a 6-panel display. Each panel is 7 feet tall and is front and back. The museum will come out and handle the setup as well as the takedown of the exhibit. I'm sure there'll be more information coming soon and some social media posts to advertise more about the event.
Okay.
Also, a reminder about the municipal dinner in Dolphin Island on Thursday. That's at 7 o'clock. Also, wanted to give a thank you to the Parks Department. The azaleas are looking good out at Wright Park, so thank you for that. Opening day for baseball was this past Saturday, and tonight is the opening night for softball. Also, the restrooms are open, and hand dryer needs to be installed, and that's the last little bit, and there's been some sod planted, so that looks really good over there as well. The portalettes will be removed soon, so those won't be there forever. Also, I did want to mention the splash pad. We talked about it in pre-council and considered a soft opening on Saturday, April 3rd, just to see how everything's going. Crystal's been working with the spa and tub guy to make sure that it's ready to go whenever the city is ready. Also, I would like to add the items of consideration, I guess, down at the bottom for the agreement for the use of the lights and the City of Satsuma ball fields. Want to mention that. Also, the signage that will go on each of the fields that I mentioned in pre-council and talked about last week. And then something I did not mention, was that Steel Creek Lodge, the cleaning fee is now less expensive. The cleaning fee that we charge is less than what we're actually paying to have the facility cleaned. So we would like to ask the council to increase the cleaning charge to $125. So this is not a loss to us. And I think it said, the note in here said the last proposed amendment was October 5th, 2019. I'm not sure if that's in regards to the cleaning fee, but if, okay,
Should be October 15th.
October 15th. I'm sorry, I don't know what I
It's
said.
okay.
What did I say?
5th.
5th, okay, 15th there. So if I could mention that tonight, that way they can get that in place. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, just kind of go over, because some of what we discussed, for those that's not here in person in pre-council, the parks, everything with the exception of the hand dryers are now, have been taken care of regarding the restrooms, and so they're all open and
That's my
complete.
understanding, yes, sir.
And we got Crystal here, is that,
We have 2 toilet paper dispensers that are missing. We're gonna get those replaced and then touch up paint and the hand dryers. So,
Okay.
but they are open and functional.
okay, please make sure we get that taken care of, and we are going to be open, the restrooms will be open when the games are being played now, so that's there. Everybody make their reservations for that's attending Thursday night.
I'm gonna be out of town
Okay.
for the dinner.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thursday
We
night.
need to
Okay.
send them a list they asked.
That'd be 2 for me, and I think Mr. Phillips had said 2 or 3, and
I can't make it.
Jason can't. So, well, that's good. At least 3 of us can make it to represent the city.
Are you going to?
I'll have to check with my boss.
You're close.
Okay.
As far as I'm hearing about it.
We got a
I'll get back to you.
church event going on.
And as we had said earlier, the splash pad, I think we've got cleaned up around it. There was a bunch of younger kids playing around it this weekend, so once we can arrange it to get get everything checked out, hopefully no problems with it setting up for a while, so hopefully in April it can be open.
We did talk about a year ago, maybe it was a little bit longer, to get some of the bench seating either outside, I think we were talking about whether it's outside or inside the fence, so parents would have a place to sit, and maybe some of both. Some inside for those with younger children that needed to be right there. It would be like the waterproof benches with like the rubberized coating that would be weatherproof, and those could be concreted into the ground. And then we could also have some seating on the outside as well of the fence.
Probably a good idea. Thank you.
You know, a couple $100, I don't think it's a whole lot, but we were going to try to work on that.
Is that all?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kelly? Have you ever done anything
I'm good.
with you? So, nothing else? Moving on, Mr. Phillips, I think you had a few items you wanted to discuss
Yes,
tonight.
Mayor, we finally got all the bids in on purchasing a buggy to use for trash pickup and for the weed spraying in the ditches. And the one that's the low bid is a 2021 Tracker Model 500. Comes with top, winch, 4-wheel drive. It's a nice buggy. And I would like to put that in form of motion that we approve the purchase of this buggy. It's for $9,569.90.
I'll second.
Got a motion made by Mr. Phillips to purchase the buggy that we've been discussing for the last couple of meetings. The buggy will enable the street department to use to spray ditches and all, rather than trying to keep them cut all the time. We feel like some of them we can spray and do it a lot more efficiently, also picking up the trash on the highway and down some of the roads like Juniper, Baker, the service road, where it takes people such a long time to go and pick them up. We can feel like we can put them on one or two of these scooters here and save time and cover a lot more ground, and I think we all agree it's a good idea. So with that being said, all those in favor of the motion signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Heather, you do have a copy of these quotes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Try to make sure you speak with the chiefs on making sure, because I know they got a little more experience on making that emergency lighting.
Yes,
On all those, so I want to,
Crystal's already been talking with the chief about the type lights we want to put on there, blinking lights.
how about on one of the next safety meetings you have, and it probably can go for everybody, might even get the water board over here, but the PPEs, as we start cutting grass more and all, and this time change and getting out early, I mean, making sure that we got reflective clothing and all on as they are weed eating and cutting
Safety
the grass
glasses.
around the, some of the bushes and all in the highway. I mean, I just feel like, we need to be very cognizant of making sure they have proper reflective gear and all on, and that we are marking that and checking all our vehicles for the strobe lighting and all, and keeping all that up. So anyway, 'cause we know we're going to be doing a lot more of the grass cutting and ditch cleaning and such as that, where they're so close to the vehicles. Okay, thank you.
And Mayor, we also did get a list of the pay-as-you-go program, and Crystal and James Elmore are supposed to be revisiting that this week
I'm sorry, I didn't.
about the pay-as-you-go, the intersections,
Yes.
getting some more quotes on them.
I had given the mayor the list from the day you
Okay. That's what it's-
None of the intersections that we're looking to do are on that list.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at, some of the intersections where they come off of the road or near the railroad tracks, where we've just patched and patched and patched.
Right.
It's just, and that we're not on the pay-as-you-go, so we're
You know,
going to
And
hopefully,
something to keep in mind too, for this year, if we get a chance to add to pay-as-you-go, is the road going in by Wright Park. It's getting pretty wore out, and they sees a lot of traffic right there. So something we need to keep in mind if we get a chance to add anything.
What was that? That came up for discussion not too long ago about using,
That was the gas tax money,
the
the
street.
grant,
Street,
Rebuild Alabama grant.
yeah.
There again, a lot of out-of-town people, and a lot of people sees that street more than
Right.
any other too, and that's a reflection on our city also.
It's pretty rough. That road's pretty rough.
I agree. We have had a meeting with the MOP, and we have discussed, hopefully, it is our hopes that we're going to have some funding become available for some of the smaller municipalities where we can look at doing some paving. So it's just kind of early in the discussion. It's only a couple of weeks into it before I make any real big, get everybody's hopes up that we can get a lot of money, but I am hoping that does come to fruition for us to get something.
The patch at Chevron's a
Yep.
big improvement. We all know it's not going to last forever there, but it is a big improvement till we get something moving
Right.
forward.
In pre-council tonight, we did discuss, the meeting is the 23rd, correct, Crystal, for us to have the final meeting. We did have work done last week with AlDOT, where they made a temporary repair, and it's helped immensely, but it still needs a greater repair, something that will get it fixed. And we're hoping after the meeting on the 23rd, where it's going to be the city with AlDOT and the pilot are all going to be in attendance. And as I said earlier, hopefully by the next council meeting, we can help give some movement. And that has been, with that and getting our auction list that we're going to see ready, like I said earlier, we had James Elmore come back and assist Crystal in moving some of these projects on, and they have gotten a lot done. So I'm really happy with that, if we can stay on track there. Anything else, Mr.
That's all I
Phillips?
got, Mayor.
Okay, well, we're making a pretty good time tonight. We're going from down to item number 8 now, items for discussion and/or consideration. Number 1 is payment of the bills.
I make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $48,087.54.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Allison, to pay the bills in the set amount. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
We're going to pay the bills. They're down a little bit this week. That's good. Number 2 is consideration to the purchase of the side-by-side. We've already taken care of that, so that item is now discussed, and hopefully by next council meeting, you can be telling us how it's doing. The number 3 we discussed, and this is something that's been going on with the city for quite some time now, considering the agreement with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood for the engineering services on the grant regarding Steel Creek Lodge. At pre-council, we agreed to bring this, just to introduce this agreement tonight and then lay it over so that Jay, our attorney, has a chance to review it and try to work out a few concerns that we have with it. There was nothing major, but there was some wording that we would like to change. So if we're just introducing it tonight, I don't think we need to do anything other than just introduce it and just let it lay over. So put it on the agenda
You
for
can do
us.
a motion to table to the next.
Did y'all have it on the agenda to vote on tonight?
No, it's not on the agenda, is it? To vote,
Number
is it?
3,
Consideration,
to enter into
Jana.
Yeah,
agreement.
just for consideration, you can,
Just do a motion to table.
to table it till we have a chance to review it, to
Okay, well,
get it changed.
if somebody will make that in
Yeah, I'll
form of a
make the motion that we table the agreement with GMC Engineering Services on the Go Mesa grant.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Allison, that we we introduce the said agreement with the engineering firm, Goodwin Mills and Kaywood. Going to introduce it tonight and lay it over to the next meeting. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, that's good. We can work that out. We had a consideration for the resignation of a police officer, James Richardson, and to be effective March 22nd. He was a part-time officer that had not been working a lot recently, so his resignation, if, I guess Mr. Butler's being out, so if one of you would like to introduce it and take it and make it in the form of a motion, we accept the resignation.
I move we consider the resignation of police officer James Richardson effective March 22nd, 2021.
Second.
Motion made by Allison, seconded by Mr. Phillips, to accept the officer's resignation in good standing. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, we're taking care of that. Number 5, moving on, consideration of the surplus vehicles and equipment from Public Works. We've been moving forward to get rid of all of the unneeded old equipment and vehicles that have been around the landfill and around the old Public Works building. And tonight, we've got these items that are listed, 2001 F-350 Super Duty, 1994 GMC, 1984 7,000 dump truck, 1996 F-450 Super Duty truck, 2006 E-350, 1998 GMC Sierra bucket truck, 2002 F-150, 1999 GMC Ford M4, 2002 F-150, and a 16x8 utility trailer. So those are the items that y'all have put together that is no longer needed, and we have moved forward with the purchase. Unless Crystal and James have put that together for us, thanks.
I always felt like I was going through the museum of old vehicles when I went to the dump. Like, man, look at that thing. It's kind of nostalgic.
Okay, I think I need a motion for us to surplus all this equipment that was listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Allison, seconded by Jason to surplus the listed equipment. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Good, I'll be glad to see that stuff gone. We discussed the upcoming board appointments. Just as we've already said earlier, since it's listed out here, we are going to ask for those that may be interested in serving, not only on this board that's coming up, but on all boards, so that we can try to identify the best applicants, people that have the best interest for the city, and that, want to devote the time and effort to to whatever the board is that they're on. So that's already been discussed. Moving on to 7 now. That was the building inspector.
Move to consider opening a building inspector 2 list.
I'll second that.
Motion been made to move our building inspector 1 that we had requested to a building inspector 2 list and hopefully get us some more applicants as we've discussed. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Going to number 8, the consideration of opening for the equipment operator 3. That's what we requested from the personnel board. That's going to be a public works position that's in the sanitation department.
Make motion in that regard.
Second.
Motion made by Randy, seconded by Allison to, for the opening or to fill that position. All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Those opposed. The last item we have,
Mayor, we got one more. The consideration for waiving the rental fee for Steel Creek Lodge for the ladies' club. You
okay,
ready to do that one?
thank you for bringing that up. I guess we discussed it in pre-council and council, so we'll, as Mr. Skelton pointed out, we'll make a motion to, you gonna make the motion that we waive the, or
Yeah, you
one
go
of,
ahead.
one
No,
of,
I'm saying I got a couple over
Yeah,
here.
I'll make the motion, we waive it, and they just pay the cleaning fee.
Second.
motion made by Jason, seconded by Bubba to waive the cleaning fee for the event that Ms. Walters had discussed with us earlier. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And those opposed. Okay,
And I've got the use agreement,
Item 10.
and then you may do that one now? Okay, do you
Well-
want to suspend the rules?
we ought to
No,
do the
not
resolution.
You just
Not for that?
added as
Okay.
agenda item number 10, consideration of your park use.
Okay. I move that we consider implementing the agreement for use of lights in City of Satsuma ball fields with the form that's in front of you all, that was in your packet, that allows people outside of the youth association to rent the fields and reserve the fields and use the lights for a fee with a deposit. This would not be during the period of use of the youth association, but outside of the period of use of the youth association. So, with the youth association getting the right to the fields first.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. A motion made by Allison, seconded by Jason, as we discussed in the pre-council agreement for the use of lights in the city of Satsuma ball fields. Did we need any other further discussion? Since it's an add-on agenda item, I want to make sure everybody's okay with us adding it on and going ahead, so there's no problem with that. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, well, it has passed.
And then the other one is, I move that we purchase 8 field signs for the amount of $720 out of the parks budget for signage on the fields that are listed about authorized use in groups outside of the youth association to contact City Hall.
Is that the one
It is.
that you,
Yeah, we had 2 quotes and one, this one is less expensive. It's the metal signs.
but that's the better sign, right?
Is the metal.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Allison, seconded by Randy to purchase the signs that were in discussion. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And those opposed. Show the motion passed.
And one more.
Okay.
I move that we consider amending the Steel Creek Lodge rental agreement to increase the cleaning charge to $125. The last proposed amendment was October 15th of 2019.
What day? What day you gonna implement that?
After their,
Well, I mean, I don't know how far we've got it rented in the future, so. I mean,
No,
we
I
gotta
would say
stick
anything
saying that
that
out.
beyond, that's not on the books now.
That's not booked already.
Yeah, that's not on the books now that could go, yeah.
Any future.
That's why I asked.
We need a second.
Yep, we don't have a second.
I'll second.
Motion made by Allison, seconded by Jason to increase the cleaning fee from $100 to $125 on Steel Creek Lodge. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Maybe we can look at all those rentals once we look at the completion of that project down there, when everything, all the upgrades are made, because that and the senior building and all, I feel like we're going to be back really busy, and probably need to discuss cleaning of City Hall and everything else and reevaluate some of that in the not-too-distant future. So, okay, well, I think all the business that I know of that needed to be covered tonight was covered.
We got number
We
9.
got the resolution.
Okay, the resolution, Resolution 2021-03-03, the surplus property from Public Works.
Make a motion, we suspend the rules and put up for immediate adoption said resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Jason, seconded by Mr. Phillips. Said resolution, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
We didn't,
Roll
yeah,
call.
we
and
gotta do roll
suspend.
call.
I thought we'd already introduced it earlier and voted twice, so anyway, okay. Heather, give us a
Yeah.
roll call on that.
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember Butler, Councilmember Skelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Reese,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
Mayor Barlow.
Yes.
Make a motion, we consider to approve resolution 2021-03-03.
Second.
Motion made by Jason, seconded by Allison. The motion's already been introduced and read. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And those opposed. Well,
Now we can adjourn.
is there any other business to come before the council? If not, we will have our municipal dinner on Thursday night, it'll be in Dolphin Island. We'll remember there will be a workshop next Wednesday at 5:30, and our next council meeting will be on April the 6th.
Mayor, one more thing, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
On the applications for the board appointments, we talked about for this upcoming one, have the deadline of April 2nd, but that is Good Friday and City Hall will be closed. So I recommend we bump it back to March 31st by close of business.
Okay. All right, City Hall closes 5 PM, so anybody that's interested in the board appointment and serving on our school board, they need to fill out an application and get us some information, a resume, or at least something we can all discuss, and
Where they go
So-
pick the application up, Mayor?
we will.
We have them here at City Hall,
Okay, get them from Heather.
and we keep a list of, and the time they're brought back in.
Okay.
We need to get that out quick to all the outlets.
tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
We
sure.
can put it on social media and the
Okay.
website.
Right, well, hopefully we can have some people that's interested. Like I said, we're going to have some board appointments coming up in the not-too-distant future, so hopefully we can get the best applicants possible. So, now, for the
Make a
third,
motion to
fourth time.
Second.
Motion made by Jason, seconded by Allison to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.